There's a difference between being photographed and being seen. Most of us have experienced the first, very few experience the second. On Who Cares, we explore what it means to live with care, presence, and humanity in a world that moves fast and often looks past what matters. Today's conversation is about story and about the responsibility that comes with holding someone else's image, memory, and truth. My guest today understands that seeing people clearly is an act of care. Raised on the south side of Chicago and now based in Los Angeles, he approaches photography not as a performance, but as preservation. His work is grounded in faith, service, and a deep respect for the human condition. He's a portrait photographer, art director, and filmmaker. But more than that, he's a storyteller who treats each moment as something entrusted to him. Today, I'm joined by Darius L. Carter. Welcome to Who Cares, the podcast that embarks on a profound journey into the heart of empathy and indifference in our modern era. Each episode of Who Cares brings you insightful conversations with a diverse array of guests from various industries and walks of life. But Who Cares goes beyond individual stories. We dive into the larger societal and psychological undercurrents that have led to a perceived decline in collective empathy. Who Cares isn't just a podcast. It's a powerful call to action for reigniting the spirit of empathy within each of us. Let's find the answer to Who Cares together. Welcome to Who Cares. So it's one of the few places I thought, I could see myself there.
It's a beautiful town. It's one of those places I've, since being in LA, had the pleasure through work, traveling the U.S. for sure, domestically. Yeah. I've been almost every place. And to see the makeup of all of the different cities and different things, and you say, every city, that's why you have the home pride. We all have our own thing.
Right.
But having Chicago is one of those places where it's like, it's not super big, but it's big.
Right.
And it's like, but we make it feel small because of the community.
Right.
The community is very community there.
Yeah.
Even if it's like we know who's over there or what parts are over here, it's not a segregated thing. It's more of we have built our communities. Mm-hmm. We love for us to take care of our families and all of those natures. And it just, every neighborhood has their love. I have mine for sure from my back home, South Side. So you have all of those different pieces to it, but it's a resilient city too. So it builds resilient people. So every person that comes out of Chicago, that goes and do something, they become something for sure.
So you said your love for photography started there, going through your grandmother's photo books?
Oh, yeah. Growing up, my grandmother raised me and 5 of my siblings.
Wow.
Yeah, so, grandmother's house is the hub. That's the house where everyone comes, the aunties, the cousins. But that's where the archives are also. Those are the material, the photo albums. We had about easily 4 photo albums.
Wow.
And these are filled with images of random images that we've had on family vacations or family reunions or around the house or parties, things of that nature. And you just a photo album and you're going through it. So it has so much texture. And having a big family, coming from a big family, families feud often. You bump heads, but photo albums always seem to be a remedy. I would always see when those photo albums come out and you aunties are around, they're pulling pictures out and they're putting them in their shirt. You're at their holidays, house for the next holidays, and they're in frames, and you're like, oh, you got the picture out of
that one.
But it's because they bring back memories. They bring back a time where times were great, times were loving, and it brings you back to remembrance of what love is and what family and community is. So it always, growing up, the life I had wasn't easy, but having memories to go back to say, okay, not all things are easy, but there are beautiful things in life. And there's a beautiful things to keep, whenever we can archive something like that in a photograph, and that they're not going to go anywhere. That's our last piece of archival evidence, in my opinion. Photographs, we keep digital things, they can all crash, but something that was printed, or on a piece of film that you can develop later, Like those things are put in the slide and see. You can always have that. Put a flashlight through it and you'll see it.
Yeah, yeah. So
So
it creates a story, or the beginning of the story, I guess, back
hmm
then for you.
yeah, and not
Yeah.
me knowing it, and that's how all
Right,
these things
right.
are. They're seeds.
Yeah,
And over
yeah.
time, life waters it.
Was your mom, sorry, your grandmother the photographer?
She was not a photographer.
Uh-huh.
My grandmother was more of an outside person, so she enjoyed
Okay.
going out to events and parties and enjoying herself, living life, and always having a camera though.
Okay.
So she had this little slim, I can't even think of the name of it, and I should.
Uh-huh.
And I have the name of it, but it was almost like a rectangle, like a little slim
I remember
rectangle
those.
camera.
Yeah.
And it had a little film that you put in and slide the door. And she would have that camera in like her clutch purses or on her person.
Wow.
So that would be a camera she would use, or you would have the disposables you would get at your Walgreens or your pharmacies that you can take back in and develop. But she would always have one.
Okay.
And we had Polaroids as well at the house, and you have those for like home parties or home things. So being around those kind of things were just cool and fun to take a picture and then see it come develop back, and now I got that moment frozen in life.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
So that's where it started.
So that kind of carried on, and then you went to school after that?
Well, that was very early on. Had to be 5, 7.
Oh, okay. So that's really early.
on.
Yes.
7 years old was probably the first time I touched the camera.
Okay.
Polaroid, capturing it from there. Family vacations. I was like, oh, we have. I'm gonna hold the disposable. I got the disposable camera in my pocket. So I remember one vacation I grabbed the wrong disposable camera, and I was like a baby shower. A reveal camera, and the pictures all had the borderings on it.
Oh,
It's a
no.
boy, it's a girl. But they was in the photo album. They're in the photo album.
Oh, that's
so
terrific.
It's like this is a piece of the archives. Like, this is the camera we grabbed. That's all they had. We just wanted to get the picture, And it's those beautiful little things that kept me engaged. And then through life, through high school, I had started to get into some film programs outside of school.
Oh, okay.
They had Chicago had developed a program called After School Matters through the city, through the mayor at the time, his wife, along with some community leaders, Maggie Daly and some of the community leaders had put together After School Matters. It was like, we need art programs, after school programs for these kids in the inner city, and we'll give them a stipend, $300 at the end of the program. So maybe about going for like 3 months or so, like a quarter, and then you will get paid a stipend at the end. You meet up every maybe 3 days out the week for a few hours. And for me, we were meeting at a local community college.
Okay.
So that kind of started my bite into like really the technical things, because there you were learning film and video, how to capture, how to write a script, how to act, how to direct, how to edit. And we were working on, at the time, the Bubble Max, and the DV cams. So the DV cameras with the little tapes go in.
Yeah.
And you have to plug in the wire, plug it into the back of the, and pull the footage to then go in the iMovie or something to cut it or have it. And at that time, I was 13, 14 years
Wow,
old.
so really young.
Doing that, starting out in that way, and I would come back every year,
Wow.
Then my senior year in high school, I started to film the basketball team.
Okay.
I loved basketball. I grew up playing basketball and riding bikes growing up all around. So I was always immersed around basketball in parks, neighborhoods, and community. I was an outside kid. Sunlight was where you was going to find me. And that created a whole thing for me. But through that program, I got to grow in it. Not only was a student in it, but became an apprentice. And started to teach, become like a teacher's assistant. And then that's what got me into the schools, teaching the art programs.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, I got a guy, he's in college or he's just starting school, and, he can do these programs for these kids. And I was St. Dorothy's Elementary, and Chase Elementary, and Benjamin E. Mays. These are schools they were on the south side and the north side of Chicago that I was able to go and teach arts.
Yeah.
and things of that nature.
So did you teach all kinds of art, or was
Yeah,
it?
acting.
Oh, you did
I taught
everything.
a lot of acting.
Okay.
And then at the end of the year, it would be a performance, for the parents to come out. And we wanted to do that to engage the community. A lot of things I was seeing in the schools were, the parents' participation in a lot of things wasn't there. And rightfully so, in the sense of taking care of kids in that kind of environment, or based on the environment. We wanted to say, let's help create something for you that you can just show up.
Yeah.
That you show up, that you will want to show up. You will want to come
Yeah.
and see what all the work your kids have been doing. The couple hours after school, they gave you a little few hours to get to them after work. This is all that hard work did.
Wonderful.
You
So you were really immersed in that part, in the acting, and that's what brought you here to California.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah, I went to school for it.
Okay.
I went to Columbia College downtown. I studied film and video at first, concentrating in cinematography.
Okay.
And then I changed my major after my freshman year. And I was like, it's getting a little boring for me. I had been working with cameras and, things. And I wanted to play with them when I got, you gotta wait till you're, junior year or something before you can start playing with the cage. And I'm like, okay. And I talked to your professor and he was like, you should get into acting. And I was like, I'll try. And I took a class that summer, improv or some kind of class, acting 101. And I loved it. It had pieces of improv in it. It opened me up. And I think it was a piece of therapy for me, too, that I didn't know I needed. Like the South Side, this kid from the South Side of Chicago, how do we open him up to be vulnerable, to be honest, to be vulnerable in those moments. And improv opened that up for me, earlier on. And I was like, oh, and it felt free when I left that class. And I was like, I like how it felt. Like, okay.
Like you let go of something.
Let my emotions. I'm the middle child. So, I've always been the lone wolf. I'm good on my own. I'm, what would you call it? Introvert, but most people would think I'm more extrovert because I'm great with people. I'm great outside, but I'm great by myself. I love being by myself. It's me and the Lord. I'm like, praise God.
Yeah.
The smaller, the better. The minimal is good for me, but I enjoy people. So I can't get away from people. I love it. And that's just my whole life.
What do you think that relationship gives you, the relationship with other people?
I think it's divine. I think part of life, I am a Christian. I believe in Jesus. And I'm on a walk and on a journey. And I have been for the past 16 years. So my thoughts on purpose is to be Christ-like. Is to be able to help one another. How can we all are flowers? We put us all together with a beautiful bouquet. You put the same flower together, you have a dozen of roses, they're beautiful. But if you add in pieces of different flowers, you now have something that is, oh my God, unimaginable. So the more that you connect with people, the more stories you hear, the more compassion you grow, the more forgiveness you grow, the more it's like a part of life's journey. It's a gym. This is the gym of life. The more that we connect with each other, the more they grow. And, that's why marriage is important. You grow with a person for the rest of your life, and that's your gym forever. You have a mirror that sees your flaws and imperfections and can say, hey, babe, you're off there. And you can accept and say, okay, let me work on that. And then, because I don't want to be outside of here and not knowing that this flaw is messed up and I haven't fixed it. So being open in that way, you can be open to receive more in the world and you can have much more peace. And I think that's the answer to how we get peace, how we gain peace.
So kind of through your own vulnerability and ability to open up to others.
Absolutely. I
And
mean,
safety, creating safety for them.
It bounces back. You give what you receive, you receive what you give.
Right.
So as a photographer, when I'm in front of a subject and I'm capturing, I always say this, it's usually a tagline or a line that I have, and it's, I'm capturing what is the image for. And it's like, okay, I did the image of Oprah Winfrey for the National Portrait Gallery for a painting of her.
Yeah.
Did the reference shot. And the thing was, we want to capture her essence. So for me, that line, capture her essence. Okay, how can we capture her essence? This is an image that's going to be forever and we're capturing her essence. So I need to get into who she is. I want to know what mark are we leaving behind? You know, what pieces can I connect with? You know,
Right.
where is she from? You know, I'm digging that deep. You know, she's from Mississippi. My grandmother's from Mississippi.
Oh, okay.
Born and raised. So I'm like, I grew up in a home with a woman
Yeah.
that grew up in the same, you know, she moved to
Yeah.
Chicago at 14, but she's Southern. So I pulled from pieces that I was like, I know what being in a space with her now, when I'm in front of her, I know who this person is a bit. I don't know
Yes.
her,
Right.
but I can understand her. I can get
Right.
to understand her more. And then in that moment, we dance and we joyful.
Yeah.
And we get that moment, and
Yeah.
it's like, wow, that's me. It's like, that's you. That's your essence. You're who you are. You know, those are the pieces that come to the puzzle, is learning that and getting it back frozen, you know.
How
in
do you know
image.
when you've captured that moment? When you're looking through the camera and you've said, "Oh, that's it. That's the one. That's the one. I've captured who they are."
It sings to me, the joy.
It does. Okay.
The joy, depending on that line, that tagline. If it's capture her essence, Stevie Wonder was the total difference. It was a heartbreak. He was releasing a song after 4 years of not releasing music.
Wow.
And this was Kamala Harris going on a campaign trail, first black woman. And he creates a song, Can We Fix Our Nation's Broken Heart? And this is to, amplify Stevie's brokenhearted right now. That where the world is and where we should be. You know, can we fix it? Absolutely. We can fix it with love. We can fix it with patience. We can fix it with compassion. We can fix it. But the echo is we have a lot of people that are brokenhearted because we're missing the love. We're missing the compassion. Yeah. So to be there, it's like, okay, we need to dim the lights some.
Right.
We need to spotlight a moment. You know, that image was black and white. It was supposed to have been in color. With black and white, and it made the brooch that was a broken heart red, kept it red.
Oh, wow.
As he was reaching for the heart. That was the moment to say, oh, that's what we want to exemplify. We want to stay on that, not lose track of what the purpose is. You know, and that's working in the industry where you're like, they have, like you said, what we were talking earlier, you know, they have what they want. It's like, okay, I want to give you that with my touch on it.
Okay.
You know, you go to the artist for their touch.
Right.
And you say, this is what I want, and you allow that artist to develop that. And I've been grateful to be able to cultivate and create those.
Do they mostly allow you to have that space to do that?
Yeah. For Stevie, yeah. But I'm always, my creative direction is participation. I have to create with the creatives around me. I don't take it as this is mine. I understand God has a bigger thing at hand, and if I'm saying this is mine, I'm missing the opportunity of who's in the room.
Yeah.
I have, you know, at times 2 to 3 assistants.
Okay.
You know, they work with me and they know lighting, they know me.
Yeah.
So sometimes they may say, hey, D, what do you think about, you know, it looks a little here. And I said, you're right. I do feel that. Or I may say that's a bit intentional. I want to create that. And say, oh, maybe I bring in because that grabs your eye that way. You need the intent. You need every piece to the puzzle. The makeup artist, the hair. I may say, hey, hair, let's come in and check for a second.
Yeah.
Because I want you to be represented correctly as well. I don't want to have to be a fix and post. Back in the day, they used duct tape and clamps.
Yeah.
They got it as best as they could in camera.
Yeah.
That's my goal, so that I can give you your turnaround as soon as you need it.
Yeah.
So it's makeup. Let's come in. Let's do it. If you need to do a little touches, maybe a little shiny. Let's mat it out a little bit. Or if it's intentional to be a little shiny. It's all of these things work with what are we trying to bring across.
Yeah.
And every person in that room matters. Every person from it could be a PA or any person, every eye. As a photographer, you're a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
You see every piece of the thing.
Right.
So people in the background that's watching the quarterback, which I'm the quarterback at the moment, they can see things that you can't. And they can say, oh, maybe he didn't pay attention to that. Or his foot, where his foot is movement. You know, he's just focused on the framing and the lighting and the emotion. He didn't pay attention to that part while he's in that viewfinder.
So different layers.
It's layered. It's definitely layered. And the moment I've been in so many rooms where creative directors have taken it into this is what I want, and you have so much dysfunction, miscommunication, and that's when you have the most stress.
Yeah.
My sets, we're done in much shorter time than you
Really?
expected. You're still out, the sun is out, and you going with your day, and we've gotten it done. Stevie, I have maybe had him on set no longer than an hour.
Wow.
Maybe.
Wow.
Maybe 45 minutes, you know,
Yeah.
and at that, he's maybe sitting at the piano, or he's, you know, if he's standing, maybe 15 minutes. And then we're moving and we're adjusting and we're done, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm very courteous of different things of that nature. Same with Oprah. We two different setups,
Yeah.
but in each setup, maybe we spent 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. But we got over 600 or 800 images that I narrowed it down to.
Yeah. That's a lot. So how do you manage that? I mean, I think, you know, when I think of a photographer, right away I feel tension, you know, like they're going to take a picture and I know I'm not going to like it, no matter what it is, you know, because we have an idea of how we want to present ourselves or how we want to look in the picture, right? So how do you make that translation so that that the picture you take is something somebody agrees with in essence of how they want to present themselves, how they want to put themselves out there, or, you know, we tend to be so self-critical of our own pictures, right? So how do you manage that and present a picture that somebody is accepting of when they're not even accepting of themselves in general?
Well, look, that's it. Accepting of self.
Right.
And it's getting to acceptance of self. And what I've learned, this is going back to what you give, you receive. As a photographer, I always urge photographers, confidence.
Yeah.
The more confidence you have in that room, the more confident they are that you're going to get it. You know, and that lays their shoulders down a little bit lower. All these pieces. I wear this bracelet and it says,
Oh, I like that.
Do
Dude
it
afraid.
that answers your question in total.
Yeah.
It's me as the artist. I'm seeing you here. I'm capturing you a way I feel and I see you. I saw it and I captured it this way. Now, me showing it to you is the doing it afraid. It's like, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Me, now, I can't do anything about you accepting you.
Right.
What I can do is speak life into you. I can pour the value of who you are and what you're doing and what you mean. And that's mostly what my job is as a photographer, is a brand or a person is coming to me and they wanting to get headshots. I'm looking to go out and do some acting roles and say, okay, what kind of acting roles are you looking to do? I'm going to interrogate you in a way because I want you to be confident. I want you to be certain as far as where I'm going. When I hand this headshot to somebody, I know I'm handing it for this reason.
I see.
I know that because not all actors are going out for the same thing.
Right.
Some are just going for commercials. They want to be on commercials, on the ads. You know, they want to be something bright. Let's do something in a park. You know, maybe some studio shots. You know, with some lights, some natural, giving that essence, some color. Let's bring it some pop. All these different type of things that give you that commercialized feel and look, and gives you your personality though. In whatever environment, so that they can feel your personality.
Okay.
The casting director wants to see your personality.
Right.
That fits their role. They have
in their environment.
They have a Lysol commercial and they need a person at this age that has an apartment, and you fit that. You're that person. You're that age. Let's just give them you.
Right.
You know, and from there we go. Actors who want to go into theatrical acting, you know, How to Get Away with Murder, TV shows that are technical, you know, that are dark, and let's do some underpath shots. Let's get something a little bit dark, moody, some shadows, some lighting where we need it, but some mysterious. But let's make it you. Yeah. Let's not copy or duplicate something else, but let's make it you. Because this is your first impression. It's your resume. Your headshot is your resume.
Right.
It's what they're going to see to say. It's two parts as an actor. Yeah. It's going to be your paper resume with the things that you've done, your schooling and your skills, and they can see that and say, okay, and then they match it with the face that, and this person meets this is their first time meeting you, and now we have the video aspects, you know, the interview, you know, all those type of stuff, but for giving them the confidence to say, it's you. You know, be you. Be exactly who you are. You're wanting them to, this is your first impression of you. And the best version of that is the stripped down, honest person those are the people that casting directors, they want to work with.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
want to work with a pretender.
Yeah.
Because now I got to work with you throughout the day.
Yeah.
When I can get the person that I know I'm working with, that is them,
Right.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
It's easier to flow because I got a crew of more people
Right.
to try to narrow down to one.
Right.
How can you make my life easier?
Right.
I'll show you who I am in the beginning.
Mm.
And so working with people, getting them there to that comfortable state, it takes a little while because some people some are afraid when the camera gets in front of them.
All right. Yeah.
I teach this and I tell photographers, I say, sit the camera down in those moments. Just talk with them for a moment.
Yeah.
But sit it close.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got
So
it
they
close.
see it.
Sit it close because then they can be,
They know
okay,
it's
I'm ready.
coming.
You can grab it and you're ready to go.
Okay.
And you're already in it, and then you can be showing it to them, and you see how that looks like,
Right.
and they're like, "Oh my God, that looks great!" Like, okay, I love it. And then their confidence,
Aw.
your confidence.
So it's getting them in a certain state first.
Yeah, you have to be able to motivate them, be a hope dealer in the moment, and give them that inspiration to see themselves as great and say, yeah, you are your own. Do it afraid. And I wear this
Yeah.
bracelet, and I show them that, and I say, I wear this bracelet every day. As an entrepreneur, as an artist, every day is new.
Yeah.
Every day is a scary day, but I do it afraid, and I learn something new, and I'm grateful I did it.
So they feed off your confidence and your vulnerability in order to get to where they need to be for themselves.
You're the leader in the room.
Yeah,
You're the quarterback. As a good leader, any good leader
Right.
in any institution, you can tell by their team. If their team isn't confident, their leader, it trickles down.
Yeah.
My team, if I've had random teams that I've had to put together 10 photographers that I have to lead to do a conference. I had a conference of 45,000 people.
Wow.
In a stadium, and 10 photographers to cover that over 3 days, the course of 3 days. Their confidence have to be
Right.
to walk up to a group of people to get what we need and assets delivered in time, on time, in the moment.
Yeah.
Like those things are like, that's
So
pressure.
you have to make that connection really quickly and very
But
confidently.
if they see me walking around and say, hey, y'all,
Yeah.
what's up?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Thank y'all so much for being here. You guys don't understand how much you mean to me. Like to have more eyes in the room that has the heart to capture is a blessing. This is not going to be hard. This is not going to be stressful. You're going to do it all that you do all the time. You're going to see what you see, be a part of the moment. I tell them to be present first, take it in, then pick up your camera and capture what you see. You'll have certain things I may say, I want you to get group shots.
Yeah.
I want you to get stage shots. I may want you to, but you have your roles. But be present in that role and get it.
Yeah.
We got it.
So is there something that goes off in you when you got the right shot? When you say, "Oh, there it is," something kind of go off physically in you?
Oh my gosh, yes.
It
It's
does.
like it's like if it was to put it in if I was to parallel it to something, it would be like a basketball. Like if you're winning, if you're shooting, if you shoot that three, they get you up.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, and you amplify your team. It's like, yes. And now you get another one behind that. And you're like, oh, my goodness. And you get another three. And now you guys are up before you guys were so down. And then you guys go up. Your momentum shifts. Your energy for what you're doing shifts. Your love for it grows deeper. So when you take your time and you're being patient, photography is a patient sport. You take your time and you get that moment. You're like, it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it because now I got it. It's
Yeah.
there. It's frozen, and I ain't gotta do nothing else. It's there. I can keep going, and I can just get better. It can just elevate to something more. That's what else can we get? And your excitement grows from there.
So that's where the beauty of the passion comes out, because
Oh
I
my
can see
gosh.
the passion just overwhelming in you, or just coming out all over the place.
It's a part of it. It's a part of
Yeah.
it because you feel in the back of your head, this is going to help. For me, I've worked in church communities for over 10, 12 years and shooting church sermons, summits, conferences. You see people's lives change and transform. You see people from them in line and expectation of not even in expectation, not knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But knowing they're coming in with a desire in their heart, a want, a need, and them either in the space getting that need, getting that thought that they had in their mind, or receiving, or even gaining a new sisterhood or brotherhood, somebody there that they hadn't even expected. There becomes a conversation 10 years from now, but there's a photograph of you guys.
Yeah.
When you guys bonded over that 3-day conference, or when you bonded over that summit, when you both grew to develop to become business owners, that you guys are now partners in. And you still have that image to look back to say, man, this has changed my life. You have that to show your
that
kids.
Moment. Yeah.
You know, it's not just a thing that I can just tell my kids and then they're like, oh, man, I wish I could have saw it. Like, I hear the passion, but I wish I could have at least had a taste of it. I mean, to have that taste.
And you have it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To have it. But it's a beautiful thing. And to see people, their testimonies, when they come back and they share it with me, that motivates me, you know, serving at churches and volunteering. And, you know, now we live in this social world, so social media platforms, people seeing themselves on the church's platform and say, you know, and them sharing a small little story they didn't tell no one, you know, where they were, you know, in the dark space. And then they walked in that place. And when they met me, or when they met the other person, and we took their picture, and how it made them feel seen. How then they saw the gatekeepers, or they ushered them in, or, you know, the highs, the loves, the handshakes. And they're like, I felt community. And, you know, my core values are that. You know, it's my faith, my family, community service, and self-development.
Yeah.
That's my key things in life that I focus on.
So you've achieved quite a bit up until now. What are you looking to in the future now? Are you looking forward to anything?
Yeah, I'm looking at great things. I mean, I'm as a husband, as a father, business owner, you know, fine artist, looking to have more work up on walls, and that can be archived, that can tell more stories, to share more stories. You know, there's a lot of stories out here that just aren't shared. And I'm grateful to see how the social media world has worked, because so much more stories have been told since it has been erupted. I have a lot of stories, you know, some bad, you know, but as long as stories are being told, so that we can then start to come to some kind of an understanding and say, can we come to the table then and have a conversation and come to some understanding? Everybody is in pain. Everybody's hurting. Everybody has a need. How can we fulfill everyone's need? And a lot of the answer is community. We want to feel safe. We want to feel secure. You learn that, you know, in marriage, you know, it's about security. She wants to feel safe. You want to feel safe. You know, safe place for me to lay, safe place for her to lay.
Right.
And that's what you're creating, a safe place to grow a family, a community for. So it's how can we create that? You know, how can we do that? Well, we can first say what the issues are, be accountable. That's repentance. As a Christian, my belief is repentance is the answer. It's the answer in a lot of ways. It's like it's accountability. It's saying I did something wrong, and I'm not going to do it again. Yeah. And actually turn away from it, and strive to do better, and to teach others not to do that which you've done wrong. Right. So that they don't go wrong. And the more that we do that, the more people can be alert and be aware that this is wrong behavior, this is wrongdoing, this is wrong thought. We should think this way about each other. We all are people. We all breathe the same. We all need the same to eat. All of these different narratives, and we're like, what's hard to complex it? Every flower is a different color, but they're flowers, and they are beautiful together. So it's understanding that we're better together. You know, we're all a part of God's tapestry of life, and the more that we are intertwined and threaded, the better the fabric is.
What's been your most difficult experience in photography in general, or working with somebody in particular, or a certain place, or any good stories?
Oh my goodness, a lot of them, so many. So I'll try to summarize it, but I'll go through some. But a lot of the encounters that I think I run into, and I think most, is value. I think artists have a value that they see within themselves than the external do. And I think it's because the external is overconsumed by oversaturation of it. Whether there's a lot of photographers, a lot of videographers, and it's become a pick of the litter. I can get this person, and everyone becomes indisposable, and you lose the magic. It's like, no. Every photographer is different because they're a different person. We all see differently. We all wear different clothes every day. We all, everyone, there's a wave and a trend. People wear the same kind of style or things of that nature.
Yeah.
But ultimately, they're different people. They did something intentionally with their outfit today that made them feel good.
Yeah.
A photographer intentionally captured this way, or did the post-processing work this way for a certain reason. And that's what their style. That's their way of doing it. If you like that, you hire that person.
Right. Right. You connect with it.
That only makes that person value go up even higher within themselves. To know that what I'm doing, people love it. It's like any music. What I'm doing, they love that artist. They're going to sell out that arena. It's because they love what they do. And I'm going to be there as long as you continue to do what you do. And more artists need to be pushed in that way. I'm going to continue to support you as long as you do what you love to do and do what you do. But a lot of times our items are commodities. So it's like we can, it's just pressing a button, right? And it's just, it's like, nah, it takes a lot more than that. And that hurts that artists' feelings more. It can take down their confidence. It can take down so much. I'm a very confident person. So it's very hard to knock my confidence down. It's more, I will be more disappointed because of me seeing people and seeing where we can go. And then I see the nasty nature of things.
Right.
So I've been shorthanded for my value plenty of times, overasked for things for low numbers. It's just a student coming out of college, that had just touched this camera couldn't. I teach it, I do it on the highest scale from every level of it, and I still go at a very reasonable rate that I can work with people on and say, and I even work with budgets. Because I want you to succeed. I want to work with you, but honesty with me. It's a thing for me, and for me, when I don't sense honesty, it makes me a little unease to do it, and I feel like it's going to now mess with my creative process. So I would prefer to walk away. So I'm more, my integrity is more of, I will walk away from it no matter what the amount of money is. I'll walk away from it because of past experiences of, doing something for someone for low to nothing or nothing at all, and then being pressured on the back end of what's required, or I thought you're supposed to do this, and it's like, well, we didn't have the material in the beginning to begin with.
Right.
We were cutting corners to make this, in which I've still made things beautiful, cutting corners. But as an artist, you're like, I want to be able to do it at the value that it should be, and it can be less stressful, much easier, and it can be 30 times beautiful. And I've been able and privileged to do it. And then be able to, and God has granted me the privilege, the Stevie Wonders and the Oprah Winfrey's. And you get to do those things, and you're like, oh, you get to do it at the value, at the height of what it's supposed to be, and you're like, whoa, like that
surprises
feels
you.
Like, okay,
And
you're like, and everyone that walks away from it walks away so uplifted and so fulfilled, and it's like, whoa. Not just one person walks away fulfilled.
So that's the feeling you're trying to create. Yes.
That we all have it. That we all can walk away fulfilled.
Yeah.
We all have a role. We all have a job. I know my role. I know my job here.
Yeah.
I'm going to get that done, especially if everyone else here is doing it. So if you can do yours and you got what you need and you're doing yours and you have all that you need, your supplies, and you don't have to worry or stress that you don't have this and you got to try to make, and you're sweating, you're getting nervous and pressure, things that we don't need, we can alleviate it. The project or whatever is very important, apparently. So let's make it a value that is important. Let's value it fully.
Yeah.
Let's show that. And that's just professionalism. And
Yeah.
some people, they're learning too. So I have grace, and I'm very meek. I'm not weak. I'm meek, but I have grace and patience. And I'm like, we're all learning. We're all trying, and we're all starting things, and we're trying it for the first time. But we make mistakes. I'm just open for it. As long as we can be accountable and we can move forward, we can move forward. If we can't and we got to ignore it, and I can't be in those environments. I have to say, you still got some growth there. I can't interrupt what, frequencies or the atmospheres that I'm creating, or the people, my teammates and the people I bring on board to work with me. There's a certain atmosphere we have. So I keep to that tempo.
Yeah.
I add. If I'm a part of someone else's team or organization, I'm going to come add to it as much as I can. Add my special to it.
Excuse me. Any I'm very curious of any specific stories that come to mind that you want to share?
I've had a client call and want me to go on a tour with him. A tour, and this is a mainstream artist, wanted to go on a tour. It's like an anniversary tour. It's a 20th anniversary tour. Oh. It's like a big tour, and they're looking to get a table book done. Oh, wow. And they want to get some BTS captures of the tour and behind the scenes and all of those type of things. And I'm like, oh, that would be great, And they was like, they understood who I was and my art, and they was like, I would love you, even if you have a additional photographer that you might can have. And I was like, yeah, I'm available. I think during that time, I think I could make that. And going back and forth with managers sometimes, they're wanting to protect their clients a lot. Yeah. So navigating with managers as a photographer, I've done my reach outs and said, I'm going to reach out. I'll call your assistant and we'll follow back up when I get back in town. And doing my due diligence of following up with the client and the assistant, and the assistant's like, oh, great, yes, I remember you. We were there together. Send a message to his manager. The tour was coming up in the next month or so, 3 weeks or so. And I was like, okay, I know it's coming up. And I sent the manager the message, a very kind, all the way open, like, hey, I spoke with your client, and they wanted me to come on board to capture BTS captures for the tour. And it's supposed to be for, I don't know, however long or how many cities. I guess we're going to go through those kind of conversations. And we went through a bit. I kind of was ghosted a bit. So, ignored. No. And I'm like, okay, I didn't get anything back. And then I received something that was like, okay, can you send us a pitch deck or an idea of what you're thinking as far as for the table book? And for me, I then was thrown off. I was like, I thought we were going to come in on to capture pictures for whoever he had in place to use for that. But coming on board to do the book for him on top of the captures, these are a bit deeper of a conversations. And I'm open for, but I don't think that that's necessarily where they were. They wanted me to come on board to capture pictures. And I was like, okay, I can do that. How many cities, and I can come up with a rate, let you know how much the rate was. And I gave them a rate number, and the rate number that I gave them was very low, still comparable. And I also itemized my invoice to let them know per city how much they were basically paying for me. Because they were like, well, I need you the whole day. Yeah. We want to get from the beginning, them getting ready to the showtime, revving up after the 13-hour days, 12, 13-hour days. Wow. So I'm like, okay, that's a lot of wear and tear work, so it costs. But, I'm still fair with my rates, and I laid it out so you can see this is what it costs for 6 shows. 4 to 6 shows, but this is what 6 shows look like. Or 4 shows, I think I gave them a number for 4 shows. And let them go from there. If this works for you, we can start there at 4 shows. We can build it up to 6, or we can start at 6 and build it up to 10. We can work from there if we want to, because we can gradually go as the shows go. Yeah. We can go up the numbers. But I know you want to hit the major cities, top cities that you think people, all these type of logistics that go into play. And they weren't able to do my number for the 4 cities. And they were like, we can do that number for 6 cities. And I was like, okay, we could do the number for 6 cities.
Wow.
I was like, I'll work the number for 6 cities. I was like, and I had sent over my contract, and in my contract, I have my rights agreement, which is what I communicate with a lot of photographers a lot about their rights to their work. Like, this is your intellectual property. You know, you capture when you a client hire you, they're hiring you for the service. They hire you for your time of coming to capture for them to utilize this work for whether it's digital purposes or marketing in that way. But for money, for selling it, for putting on books, T-shirts, to sell profits off of it, there's typically a rights fee that they would pay. And I typically have a fee. And I say there's a, rights fee as far as owning the rights to the work to do those things. And I make it easy so that it's a simple fee. I don't want money off of your property. I just get a flat fee, and then you can sell your book or your product however you want for 200, 300 images, and of your selecting. But you still keep all of your images, your digital gallery online for images you want to probably use for digital purposes and usage. Very fair and open that way, which most aren't, you know. And from there, the client was like, the manager said, well, my client retains all rights to any pictures taken of them they own. And I said, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do it. I said, my work, I own the rights of my work. I am paid for a service, and that service is paid for, and the usage rights of that, you get those. You can use it for websites, his socials, or, even he can print them and put them in his home. As far as selling, you're now selling things that I created. So now that's just the logistics or the law parts of it. It's like I have attorneys and lawyers in that way to be like, no, we can't do that. But we can do a fee, and I'll be slim with the fee to work it out for him, and he can own them. But as far as I can't do that, because I understand the value of what my property is. And a lot of artists, they don't necessarily, they're learning it. And it's a tough thing because it takes away opportunity. It's the starving artist line. It's because who's going to want to pay you at your full value? Those who value it. And I've come across a lot of sums that have valued it. Especially these past 3 years. Oh my goodness. From collectors to art owners and art museum owners and collectors and CEOs. And curators that's like, no, your stuff is, man, it's timeless, it's priceless. It's in you have evaluations and things valued, and you're like, oh, this is different, And the more that you stay unique to you, the more that value increase,
So what was it like to turn them down?
For me at this stage, it wasn't hard. I mean, it was rewarding. But there's also a part of you that's like, I have a family. I have a wife. I have a daughter. I have tuition I'm paying for. I have rent and groceries and internet and Wi-Fi, all of these things to keep life going. And that you still have to pay for as an entrepreneur, as an artist, independently. And it's like, am I going to sacrifice my integrity for a dollar amount? Or I understand that I carry the value in what I can do. God has given us the abilities to create wealth, through our talents and our gifts. Our gifts are internal. Our talents are external. Our talents is something that we continue to work on throughout our lives as long as we live. It's going to continue to get better. It's more that we give to it. Same with our gifts. The more that we give to our compassion and our patience, the more we become patient, the more we become giving. So it's all of that. It's a workout. So for me, it's in those moments of turning down and saying no. My no's have gotten easier. In the beginning, it was tough. Oh my gosh.
Imagine.
It was to say no because I wanted to capture personally. I wanted to do it. I wanted to get the experience. I wanted to get the moment. I didn't want the moment to be missed. And then when I had got called by that manager, they had already started. We were that late.
Oh, wow.
And finally following back up to me we were already now a day into the tour, two into the tour, and some big names had came, and they had no photographer.
Wow.
To capture the moments.
Yeah.
Of the artists and the persons that were there, and they were like, we need and I'm guessing that it started to echo, where's the guy that we met? Did he ever reach out? And now we're following up on what is it going to take for us to come.
Right.
And it's like, well, this is where we got to go. And then we can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
I've been, most of my industry or game has been last minute. Everything is a last minute call.
Really?
Hurry up and wait is the industry game.
Yeah.
It's from being background acting, being on set for 13 hours, and you on set, on scene maybe few minutes.
Yeah.
All day and holding and crafty and all that kind of jazz. But when you are this photographer, it becomes a demand at points.
Right.
Stevie Wonder, I got a call from them and had him in the studio within 6 hours.
Wow.
I got
From
called
the
for
call
him.
to...
It's called to shoot was the next day.
My goodness.
I got called from, attorney, that I know that he works as his, and it was like, hey, we need a shot, press shot, we needed it, could have been, we and I was like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
We kind of wanted it to have been out earlier, but I got you. When you all want to shoot tomorrow. Okay.
Wow.
Let's do it. We got a studio. Okay, let's that's even easier. I just got to show up.
Yeah.
Let me just charge up the batteries and we'll get it done. Let me call assistants, see, hey, we need, what we need. You guys got everything here. He gets some people. Okay, cool. That's even easier. And then you call later on, we need a studio. We need a studio.
Surprise.
Okay.
More.
Yes, and he has parameters. You got to have a 40-foot trailer that's off the door, that goes right into the studio. It's like, let me see what I can do.
Wow.
This is in the evening. Let me call around.
Scramble.
Who can I call?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember one studio. Let me call them. See if I remember one studio I used, and I called them, and they were so happened the only studio that was available was the one I wanted.
Oh, wow.
It had all the parameters that he needed.
Oh,
and I was like, the entry it was like a big garage door to get in, and then a regular door, but it was right off the parking. And a 40-foot trailer could park right up the side. It was perfect fitting because I thought it was going to block the entrance. And it literally to the T. And I was just like, thank you, God. And all within 6 hours was locked in, booked to studio, and had everybody in place.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
And we got it done.
You don't think about it. You just
don't
do it.
Think about it. Got it done that next evening or the next morning. They had the image.
Wow.
It went live, I think, the next day after that.
That's terrific.
So it was, and then it became the cover of the shot. It was supposed to be a press shot, but it became a cover of the actual single.
How
and
exciting.
Then he got ignited to go on tour.
Uh-huh.
And then we used some images for the tour assets. He went on the road with Kamala. She went to campaign. He performed, song tour.
Yeah.
So it was it was a whole beautiful thing.
It must be fun to be able to follow your shots too, to see how they travel through history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, I have moments that I've captured, Stevie Wonder out in the industry, plenty of times, but to have a moment where it's like, it's us.
Right.
And it's here, and then to get called back again, a second time he wanted to go on tour for Europe.
Wow.
And it was like, we need some assets for that, and this time it's bright, love, light, and song. We want people to bring their love, we want people to bring their light, we want people to bring their song. And I'm on the call, and we're going through the vision of what he wants to, people to bring, and we're like, let's do that, let's bring it forward. And through the imagery, like, how do we want it? We want to represent the love through the flowers in the image. We wanted the sound is the instruments.
Wow.
All the instruments that you put in there, and you represent the light.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in the image, so it all encompassing something to tell the story, to tell the narrative that when I look back at it, I know. When I look back at the purple dress of Oprah, I know what that dress means. When we got to select it, it was, a few dress options, and me and Sean, the artist who painted her, he allowed me to step in. This is the participation and say, hey, we are all creatives here.
So you took the photo and then he painted the photo.
Yeah, he was commissioned.
Wow.
Sean Michael Warren, fine artist, brilliant artist, muralist. Oh my goodness, from Chicago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I met him back in, I want to say 2014, I think, 2014, 2015. But in LA, he was first visiting. I had been there for a few years, and we became good brothers, hit it off then and there, like at a Grammy event. And he even stayed with me for a few. I lived in Long Beach, and he stayed with me. And he was the one that pointed out to me, was like, you're a fine artist. He classically trained. He studied in Florence, Italy, abroad, and like his work is masterful. And he was the one to see my work that no one saw. He was the first person that really set eyes, on top of some of my close friends, but he saw my laptop and work. He was like, yo, that's my black and whites. It's like, that's fine art.
Oh, wow.
And 8 years later, he calls me and said, hey, I have Oprah Winfrey for the National Portrait Gallery. I need to get a portrait of her that I can paint.
They have to pick you up off the floor?
At first, I told him, he said, I have Oprah. I said, give her back. American visa, I was joking with him because the top of that year, he did a mural of her in the West Loop in Chicago. And it had made local press, and it was very, so I thought he was speaking on that. Thinking, he was like, no, I have her for the national. I'm still getting into the art, fine art things, and he's teaching me of it. And it's like we're bouncing off of each other. I'm the community guy, the people's champs, and he's the artist, the thinker. He knows the history, and he's teaching me the history. I'm teaching him the history of people, how you cultivate, and it's like a beautiful partnership and brotherhood that we have within the art space where we can bring our arts together. And he says, I love your eye, I love your perspective, I love your lighting, I love how you see it. And, and for me, I want to be able to portray that back. It's an honor for him to want to, paint a portrait of mine. Like, that's a big honor, So it was a beautiful thing to do, to us having many of Starving Artist Nights in L.A.
Yeah. Wow.
To being on the lawn of Oprah Winfrey's estate, choosing where we want to shoot it.
Wow.
Going through the flower garden, going through the fountains, and the prayer garden is where we ultimately, when we stood, we were like, we both looked at each other and we were like, this is it.
That's it.
It was a chair, it was an ottoman, and I think was it a rug? I don't think it was a rug, but and it was like a cadenza or something like that had her cross and a Bible book, and it was a big oak tree. But where we were standing, it was like a forest, and where we were standing was where you're coming out of. So it felt like you're coming out of the wilderness into the promised land. So I titled the image, Promised Land.
Yeah.
And it was seeing her going through her life and industry and career, coming through a wilderness and being in a promised land to say, I'm going to be now stamped, this is forever for history. This is in the permanent collection, for our grandchildren to see and to be able to recognize, to know where we both coming from the south side of Chicago. All we heard midday television was Oprah Winfrey.
Right.
My grandmother, that's everybody, all we heard.
Everybody during that time.
So it's one of those things that we pull from that piece. I pull from knowing what I heard in my household, and seeing that, you get a car, and knowing that energy. It's like that. She got a lot of that roots, a lot of that energy in Chicago. You could feel it.
Yeah.
And it's undeniable. So it felt like an auntie on the lawn with her nephews. And we both had a good time. I'm dancing with her. We were dancing in that shot. It's like, give me the hip dip. And she gave me that little, and it's a picture, and it shows her extending an olive branch out to the world. Oh, nice. Smiling, glorious. Her hair is, there's parts of that image that still sit with me.
Really?
There's her hair is covering the side of her shoulder here. The analogy or the imagery we see where we say there's the angel and the devil on both sides of your shoulder. Yeah. And in that moment, I felt it was nothing but God's glory. Her hair was the glory over that shoulder. And on this shoulder, where her shoulder was exposed, there was a touch of actual light, the sunlight. I had my 1200 aperture shooting down on her to cover her. Yeah. But I wanted a piece of that actual lighting, of God's light on her shoulder. Yeah. And the position, and it was just like, nailed her dress, the shadowing. I wanted that to represent in our life. We have areas in our lives that are in the shadows, but we have some that are very bright.
Right. Right.
You know, it all parts of
Yeah.
it tells the narrative of like
Yeah.
her life. You see
Yeah.
more light, more purple, more bright,
Yeah.
more beauty than the hard times.
Right.
So all of that
awesome.
counts for the one image.
That must have felt like a full circle moment.
I'm
All
gonna tell
at
you how
once.
full circle it was. When I got back home from Santa Barbara the following day, got home, plugged in my all-in-one, you know, and the time my daughter had to been for maybe 4 or 6 months in between that age. I had her on my lap, and she's looking. I'm looking through the images, and she leaps at one of them.
Oh, wow.
That's the only image I worked on.
Really?
I put through processing. Not even worked on. I just went through, adjusted some lighting, shadows, and 2 weeks later, I still have the DM. Sean DMs me. Some that I put on Instagram, he DMs me. Hey, bro, I forgot to tell you. She selected the image.
Oh, my goodness.
She selected the image. My mind is like, I thought I was sending him. I sent him all of them,
Yeah.
all raw.
Yeah.
And we were going to select 50,
Together?
75.
Yeah.
Or I wanted him to select his top, and I was going to create a nice little curation of a gallery to send her digital. She could
Right.
open up, but the gallery still looks curated. It's great. But he sent them to her all as is.
Oh, wow.
And out of all the images, she selected the only one that I touched. And I told him, I said, and I sent it in the message. And you can see the comparison because he sent it to me, the picture she chose, and it sent him, I said, the only one I touched.
Now that's magical. Wow.
The only one I touched. I said, that's the one my daughter leaped out at. I said, Noah jumped at that and was like, oh, that's the. And I said, that's the one. I was like, yeah, that is a good one. And we already had him in our favorites.
Yeah.
Kind of like I rated them a little bit while we were there, and I had her sit and look through them. So it kind of was on my radar, but I had opened them up, and that was the first one she jumped at, and I was like,
Oh, wow.
that's the one I'm going to do. And from there, it was like,
That's exciting.
I got every piece of what I needed to know the confirmation of that.
And now that sits in the Smithsonian.
Yes, that's in the Smithsonian National. I think they have it now. With the world that we're navigating in now, in art and politics, I believe it's now, it's in the archives. I think it's downstairs. It was on the wall up until I was in D.C. I'm trying to think, I was in D.C. for something last year. And I was like, oh, perfect, I'm going to stop over and see it.
Yeah.
It wasn't there.
Oh,
It was like, it's downstairs. We had to put it down. I was like, oh, I said, okay. But, you know, art moves
yeah.
within museums. But it had been on that when you walk in, and it was the first thing you saw. So
I hope you got yourself with a picture of it.
I have amazing photographer out of DC. D, I can't think of her last name, but she'll know D. But she captured a photograph of me holding my daughter. Looking at the painting.
Beautiful.
And it's like a behind shot. I'm holding her in my arm. And she got that shot. But we have plenty of pictures. And we were in the museum. To have that honor to be in the museum before it opened with my daughter walking through the museum halls. You know,
Exciting.
that's something I never could have imagined growing up that I would be in and doing. So to be there and stand there and look at that painting, for her to look at it and be like,
Yeah.
that's the picture.
That's my dad.
You know, I remember that picture and say, it's Uncle Sean painted that. Uncle Sean, she calls him Uncle Warren. He titles his paintings Warren, his last name. So she's like, she always says, Uncle Warren, because I have a painting in my house that he did of me when we lived together. These are like tests he painted, and I was the one that was there, so it was a good test study.
Yeah.
So I have a few pieces of artifacts like that he's done and that I have had in my home.
How exciting.
And I just put that one of them up in particular. But he's done some of me that's, you know, been at the and Black Creativity is an exhibition show that's at the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago every year. It's like a Black creative arts show that they put on in the museum. And I used to work at the Museum of Science and Industry.
Oh, okay.
So I used to be there. I used to see it. I used to always get engulfed in it. And one year he was in it while I was here in LA, and he did a portrait of me. And it's titled Carter, and he had it in the Black Creativity exhibit.
How neat.
So I was like, oh, for it to be in the museum that I
awesome.
worked in.
Right.
I came home and saw
Another
it.
full circle, right?
Another full circle. It's just been one of those things where it was like, wow. Like, it's a good friendship. Art, when you want those kind of things as an artist, you want a friendship with an artist that you can create with unapologetically and just be able to do you and not be weird and to say create. You know, if you saw it and you did it and you see something in me, you know, that's an honor. You know, it's just like me wanting to put my lens on someone.
Right.
I say, I want to take your picture, which I've done plenty of times. And, you know, like, and it's inspired them. They're like, me?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. It's funny when everything aligns how easy things are, really. You know, it just, they seem to line up and
Falls
work
right in
when you're
place.
doing the right thing, when you're doing what's right for you.
It falls right in place.
Yeah. So for any aspiring photographers or fine arts people, what would be your advice?
Do it afraid.
Do it afraid. I love
do
that.
it afraid. Do it your way. It's going to be scary. It's going to be tough. But do it your way. Continue to work on it. You know, the more time you put in it, the more time you put effort you put into it, the better it's going to get. The more you're going to love it. You know, the outside, it takes people time to develop, to see it.
Yeah.
And once they see it, they can't unsee it.
So invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself. You know, don't shortchange yourself. Speak up for yourself. You are your own business. Businesses have things and practices to protect themselves. They have HR departments. They have PR firms. They have these things to protect their company.
Right.
You have to protect yourself.
Yeah.
It's okay to say no. I'm an artist that I do. My art is this. I see it as that. You know, we can boom, but we can work out a fee.
Yeah.
You know, always be able to negotiate and be honest and open. You can open that way, but if you see yourself or navigating with someone that is just unfair and they are just wanting to take advantage of you, and you can blatantly see it, it's okay to walk away. You're not making the art look bad.
Right.
You're not. You're making it look better.
You're just recognizing your value.
You're right. You're recognizing your value. Yeah. You're bringing the art's value much more higher because now they have to now sit back and realize that, because if they go to the next person and the next person do the same thing,
right,
and the next person do the same thing,
right,
ultimately we're going to have to fold to what that artist need. Right now the industry's going through it. You know, the studios are emptier. You know, than what they were when I first moved here in 2013.
Yeah.
And that's because we're a lot more independent. A lot more people have bought up real estate, built their own studios. They have their own teams. You know, you don't need that much. A few cameras, a few team, you know, team of 50 people, 75 people, you got a full operating production studio, you know, with a building. So all of these things, you don't need to wait hand and foot or hope that the nepotism can fall upon you.
Yeah.
It's
chosen.
like, be your own door that you can open it for others. Be the revolving door. You know, I say in life there's a lot of doors. You go into Best Buy, there's the door that you walk in and automatically opens. You know, you have some, you go into fancy hotels, it's the revolving. You walk in, it's revolving.
That's right.
You know, but some have locks. You have keypads. You have things in certain places, certain people, they have keypads. They are keypad people. You have to have an access to get through to them.
Yeah.
And I'm never wanting to be that person. I want to be the door that you can come up to and open.
Yeah.
But if it ain't got what you need in here, you can walk back out. It got what it got in here now. I can't add any more. The store down the street. I can recommend you. I recommend photographers all the time, videographers, editors. I don't hold back opportunity. If I can't do it, I got somebody who might.
Yeah.
but I'm not going to shortchange another artist either.
Yeah.
So if it's a low thing that I know it's not even good for them, I don't have
Sure.
anybody.
Sure.
I won't.
Yeah.
If it's an opportunity, even if I see maybe it can help that person, they may just want it and take a couple, I'll call them and reach out and say, hey, I may have someone. But if I work with a lot of professionals.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they know their stuff, and I have my relationships with them professionally because of how I tailor my relationships. So I'm not going to say, if I'm not going to take it,
right,
why would I send it to them?
Right.
And I'm going to take the lowest in this sense of what we can do.
Yeah.
And if I'm not going to take it, then I'm for sure. And that gives me peace too. I'm like, whoever takes it at that point,
right,
you're going to either get
that
bad
tells
work
you something.
or they just ready to get some quick cash.
That's right.
But I would say just keep going. Don't stop. Don't ever give up. That thing that you feel inside of you, it's your superpower. It's going to feel weird to people around you because it wasn't told to them.
Yeah.
It's not how they feel. It's supposed to feel weird to them. It will feel weird for you to put on their shoes.
Right.
So don't.
Yeah.
Don't put on anyone else's shoes. Don't look. Comparison is a killer. No need to compare. Love, if anything. Take from in a way that doesn't take away from an artist.
Yeah.
You can see something and you can say, oh, wow, I love how they did that. Give love.
Yeah.
And give it, it inspired me to do this. I saw that and this made me want to do this.
Yeah.
My pickups with camera and lighting, like I love continuous lighting. It took me a while. I started with modified lighting. Strobes everywhere.
Yeah.
Playing, creating however I wanted my lighting to be.
Yeah.
And then I just really was like, I want continuous light. I wanted it to match natural light as possible. I wanted it to feel like I can feel it fall. I can feel where it fades out. I can make it fade where I want it to blend. All of these different things that I was able to do with it. And I found I love this.
Yeah.
And I stayed there. And the work that I've done that's been the biggest has been with that. With the smallest things. Oprah had 5 items.
Really?
1 camera.
Yeah.
2 lenses. 2 or 3. I think I had 2 lenses. 1 light. Yeah, and my iMac, my all-in-one.
Wow.
Had an Aperture 1200. I had an R. I had a 85 lens, and I had a 24-70. And we had fun.
Yeah.
And we got the shot.
That's wonderful.
We got the moment. It doesn't take everything. That's another piece of it. Minimum, whatever you need to get it done. But for the most part, you don't need much.
Yeah.
Most artists don't need much. They need their tool, and that's it.
The natural.
Allow it to flow.
That's terrific.
Creative elements, you can do those depending on the process, the team, and all those things. But that's the beauty of like, oh, wow, okay, let's do that. Let's try it.
Yeah.
Let's see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Don't be ever against it. Let's try it. Let's see what it looks like. We don't want to ever discount someone's added to the art of space. Let's try it.
Yeah.
How long will it take? Will it take away time? Okay, let's set it up.
That's awesome.
Let's try it out. What's
Just
the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
We get a good shot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's terrific. Well, I really appreciate your time today and learning about what you do and your amazing stories and incredible confidence and advice for other people and just the love that you exude in your personality. And I think that's what makes the magic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Confidence. Be confident.
Absolutely.
Be confident in anything you do.
Yeah.
Any room you go in, the room will feel that confidence, and they will
feel it.
They will move in that way.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you for having me.